A new year means it's time for Obscure Characters Month, weekly quickfire episodes looking at lesser knowns and cult favourites. To kick off 2021, if you've watched the new Earthrise cartoon on Netflix and you're wondering what the deal is with that guy who looks like a white Bumblebee, I've got the answers in The Basics on Bug-Bite. You might be surprised to learn that the character of Bug-Bite didn't originate in the Transformers franchise. In fact, he was created for their rival series, GoBots, another 1980s toy line that was also about a war between two factions of transforming alien robots, the heroic Guardians and the evil Renegades from the planet Gobatron. The figure that would become the original Bug-Bite was first released in Japan in 1983 as part of Bandai's Machine Robo toy line, and was imported by American company Tonka to become part of their GoBots line in 1984. Specifically, Bug-Bite was part of the Super GoBots range of larger figures. At 5 inches in height, he was about twice as tall as a regular GoBot toy. Bug-Bite was a renegade who transformed into a yellow Volkswagen Beetle, an alternate mode he famously shared with the Autobot Bumblebee, released the same year. Bug-Bite appeared in a single episode of the Challenge of the GoBots cartoon in late 1985, The GoBots That Time Forgot, in which he was a member of a secret civilization living in the hidden depths of Gobatron, cut off from the surface world. He served as the enforcer of this hidden kingdom's evil ruler, Gunner, and helped to brainwash his subjects so that they would forget the world above. Until the rebel Dart managed to get a message to the surface, and the Guardians came to bring Gunner and Bug-Bite's reign to an end. The GoBots toy line ended in 1987, and in 1991, the failing Tonka was acquired by Hasbro, giving them ownership of the GoBots' name, characters, and intellectual property, which would eventually lead to Bug-Bite being folded into the world of the Transformers. The story began in 2004, when Hasbro's Japanese partner Takara released the G1 GoBots, a set of 6 recolors of classic Autobot mini-vehicles, available exclusively through online retailer eHobby, each one named after a GoBot with a similar alternate mode, including a white recolor of Bumblebee named Bug-Bite. The profile card included with the set made it clear that these weren't just Transformers named after the GoBots, these were the actual GoBots characters, an allied team of Guardians and Renegades disguised as Cybertronians, who had crossed over from their universe into the Transformers world to investigate a mysterious cataclysm that was destroying their dimension. This story was picked up a few years later by the official Transformers convention BotCon, which in 2007 offered an exclusive new figure of Bug-Bite. This one a white recolor of the 2006 Classics Bumblebee toy. The convention's exclusive comic book, supplemented by a prose story released online the following year, entitled Withered Hope, told the story of Bug-Bite and the other GoBots' investigation of the cataclysm. Rather than the cruel thug he'd been in the GoBots cartoon, BotCon characterized Bug-Bite as the arrogant, sadistic science officer of the GoBots interdimensional expedition. As they were traveling between universes, the group was thrown off course and ended up stranded on the world of the Transtech, a highly evolved race of Transformers who monitored the multiverse. After learning from the Transtech that the GoBots universe was being gradually erased from existence by a rogue splinter timeline, Bug-Bite abandoned his comrades and disappeared into the criminal underworld, where he purchased body modifications that upgraded him into the form of his new toy, and acquired the resources he needed to escape the Transtech's world and head for the source of the cataclysm, the world of the Marvel Transformers comic book. Once there, Bug-Bite used stolen Cerebro Shell technology to brainwash several Decepticons into his service, then headed for Earth to locate and destroy Megatron, whose actions he had deduced were responsible for creating the divergent timeline that was threatening his home. Unfortunately, the plan failed and ended with Megatron blowing Bug-Bite's head off. But when his fellow GoBots finally arrived in the universe soon after, Bug-Bite revealed that he was okay. When modifying his body, he'd moved his brain into his torso, so the destruction of his head hadn't been fatal. This storyline was left dangling for several years, but the GoBots were eventually able to save their universe in a conclusion published in 2016. However, Bugbite wasn't in it. He had abandoned his comrades once again and disappeared between stories. Other Transformers incarnations of Bugbite to have appeared over the years include a Mirror Universe version of the character from the world of Shattered Glass, and a kre-o building block figure in the Japanese Transformers Legends manga. His white, black and purple colours, meanwhile, would also serve as inspiration for the BotCon original characters Shattered Glass Bumblebee and Paralyzer. The original GoBot Beetle even reappeared in IDW Publishing's 2018 GoBots comic book miniseries. This comic was an alternate retro-style take on the GoBots, separate from the original cartoon, that created a whole new mythology for them. It posited that the GoBots were actually the Transformers' ancestors, and that Bugbite was actually Bumblebee's creator, explaining their similarity. Bugbite made an unexpected return to prominence in 2020, with 2 new toys and his first appearance in animation under the Transformers banner. Flame Toys produced a non-transforming model kit of him, recolored from their Bumblebee figure, while Hasbro offered a new transforming toy of the character in the Generation Selects toy line. This one a recolor of that year's War for Cybertron Earthrise Cliffjumper figure, but with Bumblebee's head, released in conjunction with Netflix's Earthrise animated series, in which Bugbite appeared as part of a squad of mercenaries hired by one of the alien Quintessons to capture the Autobots. By all appearances, this incarnation of Bugbite was just a regular Transformer, rather than the dimension-hopping GoBot in disguise. But we never did find out what happened to him after he disappeared all those years ago, so you never know. Maybe this is one obscure character who's still out there causing mischief in the multiverse. And those are the basics on Bugbite, from GoBot to Transformer, from Beetle to Bee, just the first of the obscure characters we'll be looking at this January. Leave a comment or hit the like button if you've enjoyed this look at Transformers lore, subscribe for more, and get early access to new episodes on Patreon.